Just you lot to make it through the day, but I burn my time and watch it fade away. The sky turns up, the light just goes opaque. A garden grows in time and not the other.
Welcome back to Afternoon Glory. My name is Josh Glore. Sorry guys, I've never filmed I've never filmed an Afternoon Glory in the daylight. I'm not, there's a nice shadow behind me. It wouldn't be an episode of Afternoon Glory if I didn't just fucking complain about the podcast specifics and technical difficulties this has given me. I noticed, by the way, the last episode was just fucking atrocious. I didn't realize how much I sharpened the image, blah, blah, blah. I liked filming at night because it was more of a constant variable. Now I'm fighting the sun, which Chicago's a very cloudy city, so why the fuck am I even dealing with the sun right now? I don't know. Moving to Chicago, big old fucking mistake, if you ask me. No, I'm really struggling to wrap my head around this video quality. And I understand amateur podcasts, you get amateur results, but it just looks so tacky to me. I've said this before. When I bought all this equipment, 2021, it looked good for the time, and then in just a year and a half, 2 years, it went to shit. 2.5 years. It's not quite the anniversary of me going into debt. Basically, I spent thousands of dollars just to go with a plain white background, no good lighting. Lesson was definitely, I'm trying to learn the lesson by dealing with this shit, with the shit I already have, and the shit that I should have started out with. Just a bad decision on my part. Wouldn't it be one of the first episodes of Afternoon Glory if I just didn't bitch about the technical aspects of what I've been dealing with? And then, as you know, hopefully by now, is I've posted all these episodes all at once, and what I'm dealing with is one episode at a time. It looks like shit. Makes me not want to fucking go through with the project, but as I said in the AV check, I am pulling the trigger. At the end of the day, that matters is the clips. The clips look decent quality wise. I mean, you can't really tell, but once you pull it on the TV, which is probably going to be one person for a long time that even has the fucking too much time on their hands to watch this on their TV. I'm sorry, though. I'm looking out for that one person. The reason why I got back into podcasting was just solely for the clips, and it was supposed to be a podcast that doesn't really exist, and I was okay with that. But I was having too much fun making them, cutting them down. I'm like, oh, 20 something minutes. This is perfect. It's not like my last podcast where it was just too long, so much raw audio, very I don't throw around this word a lot, but very cringy. I already know this is gonna be a bitch to edit. The sun, fucking A, dude. Fuck me. I hate this shit so goddamn much. So goddamn much. I was having fun making a less winded podcast. So then that led to creating an outro, which led to creating an intro. So now that I got all that off my chest, I'm a toss a scenario at you. Let me know in the comments if I'm going too crazy. What's your body language throughout the national anthem? I think when I was a kid, it was of course every adult. It's so easy to be a kid and an adult, rubbing your political beliefs onto them. Your teachers. I mean, again, patriotism doesn't mean nationalism or political beliefs even. You know, teachers told me to stand up, hand on my heart, take off my hat. I'll tell you one thing, my body language, maybe yours has too, has definitely evolved. There's a history behind it. You know, as a kid, I'm told to stand up, hand on heart, hat off. Maybe we witness, like, I don't know, maybe the average person witnesses a handful, if that, of national anthems live a year. When I was a kid, I used to think whoever sang a national anthem was like we could be at a high school basketball game, and I'm just a little kid thinking that person singing the national anthem's got to be famous, right? Like a celebrity. It used to, in this country, if you sang the national anthem, you had some celeb status, that's for sure. I'll tell you another thing. One time, a little older, I'm in middle school. There's a park right next to the football field. Look it up, Hicksville, Ohio, Froggy Park, which was never named that when I was a kid. My buddy and I were on the phone talking about Hicksville. He has a weird soft spot in his heart for Hicksville, Ohio. Maybe he's just proud of who I've become, and those are my humble beginnings. And whenever we talk about Hicksville, Ohio, it's a long conversation. It's longer than it needs to be. There's that lighting again. Fuck me. He told me it's Froggy Park. Anyways, so football field Friday night. That park was a happening spot for people who didn't give a shit. You know, I was dabbling with smoking marijuana, and so I don't want to say the burnouts hung out at the park, but you were teetering towards that. Most people that had a good head on their quote unquote good head on their shoulders were at the football. I don't want to call it a stadium field. I was teetering. More edgy. All my friends were 3 years older, so I was in 8th grade. My friends were juniors in high school. Insane to think about. I would then again, small enough town where junior in high school is more open to hanging out with an 8th grader. You couldn't put a fucking gun to my head when I was a junior in high school to hang out with an 8th grader. You just couldn't. And so I'm at the old Froggy Park, which has yet to be named Froggy Park. It's called Froggy Park because there's a big old fucking frog head on top of the playground. But it's not like I'm hanging out on the playground either. There's a pavilion and basketball courts. That's where I'm hanging out. My math teacher, Mr. Lawrence, he was singing the national anthem. Good voice, solid voice. He was definitely a teacher that was like he was braggadocious about it. Good voice. I think the guy could dabble in some opera. I don't know. It's not even that important, other than the fact that he sang it. And then so Monday rolls around. In math class, just calls me out. Said, I saw you. Or what were you doing Friday night? Something along those lines. What were you doing Friday night? And it's getting awkward because I didn't go to school Friday. Not that I was skipping. I know I said teetering the line of burnouts. It was one of those situations where I had missed school for a couple of days, and that Friday I was feeling better. But he calls me out in front of the whole class. I'm so fucking pissed. I haven't even thought about that in maybe 10 years. And good eye on Mr. Lawrence is he saw me from the football field, which is the closest spot. If you're leaning against on the gate, looking at the park, I'm still a good. I don't even know how many feet. I'm so bad. Maybe I got to be at least 100 feet away. And he saw me, but he's saying that. So obviously, at this point in my life, I know celebrities don't sing the national anthem. There's no status behind it. You're just a fucking asshole. If I was a teacher, I don't think I'd be like, fuck it. But maybe he's one of those teachers that care. I don't know. Fucking Mr. Lawrence said some mean things about the ways he could have possibly spotted me. And people know. I repost this. I repost the Afternoon Glory podcast onto Facebook, which some people still are connected with him. So I'm not going to go ahead and say it. Also, it was just stupid 8th grade fucking shit talking that I obviously don't still believe. I'm just saying I remember it. I remember exactly what I said about it to my friends. I always make the joke, if it's for Super Bowl Sunday, they obviously broadcast it. I always make the joke like we got to stand. Because that is awkward, right? We're just sitting on our couches, just listening to the national anthem. It's like, well, this would be different if we were in public. Anyways, just something that crosses my mind from time to time. So I always make the joke, let's stand if we're in the living room and we're listening to it on television. As I get older, I think I'm more of a closeted patriot. Because let's be honest, last two elections, and we're heading into another, last two elections have been just a fucking bizarre world. People think America's so divided, and there is a lot of division and tensions when it comes to political beliefs. That's fine. Whatever happened to the days where political beliefs was just something you talked about in your house? Now it's fucking everyone's an individual. Everyone needs to be heard and seen. So let me slap a political belief on a T-shirt or a status bumper sticker. Well, you name it. And that's another thing. I fucking hate bumper stickers, T-shirts where you feel the need to express yourself. It's just a call for attention. I personally don't like, and believe I'm guilty of it. I don't want to think that I've always been on a high road. 2020, bought a couple shirts. I can't breathe. Black Lives Matter. Another. I think I still have this one. It pained me to get rid of them, but it just was like, I don't want to wear it. And so I don't want to. It's something that I've come to realize in the last couple of years. Whereas like I don't need to express any political belief on a fucking T-shirt. People want to speak out of their political beliefs. That's fine. I zone out pretty quickly if you're gonna try to loop me into that one. Yeah, it's just I don't got time for it. I don't even really I regret even people with the same beliefs. I go home and we have a discussion, and I go home thinking like, yeah, I wish I would have just talked about something else. So, but as I get older, I have a more appreciation of this country. Yet, my body language of my body language throughout the national anthem, I'll just go ahead and say it. I still stand. I can't remember the last time I wore a hat going somewhere. Usually, always have a haircut if something like that's on my agenda. But would I take the hat off? I'd like to say yeah, I probably would. But I got some gnarly hat hair. No hand on heart though. Always bugs me. And let me just. I don't give a shit if you're a professional athlete and you're taking a knee. That's fine. I think it's kind of done with now. I get it. I get it. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. The knee. I was just deleting a bunch of old Facebook statuses. I made a stupid joke. It wasn't that stupid. It's just like, how come every time the national anthem is playing, my shoe seems to be untied? And my mom comments, Joshua Matthew. And it's like, well, it was a joke. First of all, I'm pro joke before anything else. It might just be a smidgen, but I'm pro joke. Some guy that wants to be a comedian, that is probably the first thing is they're going to be able to see or want to find humor in something as serious as fucking taking a knee. When it's a fucking spray, if you can burn a flag, you can fucking take a knee, and it's still classified unless the Supreme Court overrules that one. But I would say somebody taking a knee during the national anthem, it's not like they're fucking trying to shift the attention. Maybe, well, I guess they kind of are, but it's not like they're like, look at me, like they're still listening to the old national anthem. Also in high school, because that's what about the time it started bubbling up, was in good old high school. I kind of want to move the camera. Maybe that's what I'll do the next one. We'll just have to sit through the shitty ass light and keep trucking along. In high school, I'd make the joke like I'm gonna take a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance. I still think that's funny, but now I have to say like my nephew Bart, I keep telling him to take a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance. Who gives a shit? And I'm already getting a little too political than I'd like to. So there's some people when the national anthem goes, it's there's people that are, you know, that one person. It's been a while since I've been in one, but that one person in a church and we're doing the gospel. Like, is that the singing part? Is that gospel worship? I think it's worship. I said worship like I knew it, but I'm still a little unsure, so I have to clarify. You got that one person during worship, hand up. It's like God speaking to them, and maybe he is. I personally think that's a bit of imagination. But I'm still open to the idea. Maybe he is. And he just like there's just some people, obviously military, like you're gonna. It's almost like you have to, whether you believe it or well, you're fighting for the country, right? So you should believe. It's I get it. I get. I'm not. Also, by the way, it's been a long time since I made the national anthem. No, I can't say that. I got to the Sox stadium a little too early, and I just stood up, no hand on the heart, just standing. I was wearing a hat that day. Wonder if I took it off. I can't remember if I did. There was somebody that was just sitting. That kind of bothered me. It's like, is that what I don't want to sound like a boomer, but is that what the future of America's in? Everyone's going to be uh, just on their phone every Is the national anthem going to phase out because nobody's fucking patriotic anymore? That's fine. I can deal with that. See, that's the difference between me and a lot of people is like, I don't want it to phase out. And obviously, this is a fucking scenario, fucking dumb sentiments that I have. Say it does phase out, I'm fine. It'd be nice if we all stood as a country and appreciate the freedom that we have with the most volunteered military in the world. None of us have to serve any time. It's not mandated. But then you fail to appreciate that. Maybe it's just younger kids, but it could carry on, and then their kids will be like, oh yeah, keep on scrolling your social media feed. This is the fucking most boring part of the game. But there's people that are up in arms about it, like, well, they shouldn't. That's un-American. Blah blah blah. I'm sure, gun to their head, they'd be standing. I don't give a shit too much. It's just awkward. It's interesting to observe. You definitely watch around you the next time you're in a national anthem circumstance. It's pretty fun now, I guess. I don't want everybody doing what I want to do. Make life a little less boring, or a little more boring in hindsight. Of course, it's frustrating in the moment. Like, I want everyone to be like me. No, that's not good. Is there anything else I had to say about the national anthem? I don't know. I guess what I was saying about the Sox game is I got there way too early. Yeah, I don't want to. If there's any national anthem I don't want to catch, of course it's all the amateur shit, but it's definitely one out of baseball. Baseball's good enough to show up late, leave early, and then you had the experience. It's also kind of a waste of money at that point. I guess we'll move on from the scenario and then just get into my gripe of the week. I went to go buy some bubbly sparkling water. There's the top shelf, which I don't know if this is really practice in grocery stores, but the top shelf, there's 3 or 2 shelves of flavors of bubbly, and the 2 top shelves are just fucking wiped clean. Ended up getting lime, blueberry, pomegranate, and raspberry. I wasn't a big fan of the berry flavors, but I marched through them. I just wanted, it's like, they say recovering alcoholics drink a lot of sparkling water. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I made that up or if that's just my opinion. In my head, all these recovering alcoholics are lining up before the doors open to the market, taking all the good flavors on the top shelf. I went back. There was orange cream, loved it. I still love lime. And then I got cherry. Cherry, I'm 50-50 on cherry bubbly. But orange cream, by God, that is it reminded me of this beer, Tangerine Cream, Station 26 in Denver. That's a brewery. And Tangerine Cream, really good. I can't remember. Peter, shout out to Peter, old co-host of a old podcast I used to do for a short time. And I debated. I was like, should I just get 2 of these and 1 lime? Because there's a 3 for $12 thing going on at Mariano's. I was like, I know I'm going to love it, but just an off chance that I hate it, I'll get 1 cherry, 1 orange cream, 1 lime. Definitely, if I had a time machine, I'd go back. In my mind, all these recovering alcoholics lining the door before the store opens, it reminds them of their old liquor store days. And and then just clearing the goddamn shelves. It really bugged me, and it made me just want to, just made me, it just made me want to hope to God every recovering alcoholic just relapses, falls off the wagon. But that's probably not the case. But it was annoying how the good flavors were all gone. So that's my bitch and moan of the week. If I can shed some positivity in this podcast, is they had this little thing of cheesecake for only like $7. That's like the cheapest. It's I think a pound of cheesecake, small little pound of cheesecake. $7 is the cheapest. It comes wrapped, and you got to cut it yourself, which is kind of a pain in the ass. And you begin to wonder, oh boy, maybe a few extra bucks is worth it. When I bit into it, I was like, yeah, $7, that's worth it. It did say 6 on the price tag. It'd be a little cooler if it was 6, but it came out to be 7. I don't know how taxes work. That kind of bugged me, but goodbye. I love cheesecake. Not a big dessert guy, but whew, cheesecake is that's I got a soft spot. All right. The hotline is still available, guys. Definitely give that a call or text at area code 719-507-2006. So again, 719-507-2006. Call or text anything you want to be on the podcast. I will keep you anonymous unless if you don't want to be anonymous, then I guess state it. And regardless, it'll be a clip on the internet and on the show. Not my favorite episode at all. A little too political for my opinion. I think I stayed as neutral as I could. The lighting, though, that really fucked me up. So maybe I just got to record these a little earlier. It's a little closer on my face. Hopefully my disgusting dental hygiene doesn't show. And we'll get them back. No Act of Spineless this week. Mainly because the last episode was recorded less than a week ago. And no, nothing fun done. Just worked a few days. I worked my 2 days of the week. Glad that's over. I guess I'll see you guys next week. Well, I don't know if this came out when. Anyways, see you guys.
If you want me to be, then I think you should leave.